This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
The United Way of Greater Hazleton launches their fundraising campaign and honors community heroes. Hello friends, and thank you so much for watching. I'm Ken Carr with your local information. The superintendent of the Hazleton Area School District is responding to an allegation against a former district employee. Dr. Brian Uplinger released a statement in response to an allegation of corruption of minors against former Hazleton Area High School Vice Principal James Hudock. Hudock retired shortly after the start of the current school year. In his statement, Dr. Uplinger expressed concerns over the investigation, but says, quote, "Of primary concern, however, is the well-being of the student involved and her family," unquote. He stressed that the district does not comment on personnel matters or ongoing investigations and says the proper authorities were notified. Uplinger also says, quote, "There was absolutely no intent to hide Mr. Hudock's retirement, as has been intimated," unquote. A search warrant was executed last week at Hudock's home in Drums. In response to a question about Hudock's pension, Uplinger says that decision would be up to the state pending the outcome of the investigation. You could read the entire statement from Uplinger on our Facebook page. The United Way of Greater Hazleton recently took time to thank individuals and companies who helped them and our community. Their annual campaign kickoff is the topic of today's news feature with Lisa Sugart and the United Way of Greater Hazleton's President and CEO, Pat Ward.
Our United Way is rolling off arguably the worst year we had as far as fundraising goes, maybe ever. And a lot of that had to do with the continuing COVID world that we live in and the effect that it has had on people that normally give to us. And that's really the businesses, because many of the businesses and industries were working on reduced schedules. A lot of people were working from home, and we did this campaign virtually. As well. We did a lot of electronic pledging and things like that, and our numbers weren't quite where we wanted them to be. And during our annual meeting, we did announce a cash total of $288,866. Now, we also include a figure of in-kind gift services plus contributions that our United Way itself makes back to the community through our programming and staff efforts. And that was another $166,000 roughly. So the grand total last year was $454,754. And that's down from the year before. But however, now we start to look forward to the coming year, because there's a paradox here in that while we raised the fewest dollars in a long time, we actually helped more people. In some instances, the number of people that were served by United Way agencies in this community increased by a factor of about 2.5. And that, Lisa, was all across the board, mainly assistance of an emergency kind, families that needed food, things like that. But there's always there's things that are forgotten sometimes, like during the COVID pandemic, there was an increase, very sadly, in the number of cases of domestic violence. And that's another agency that we work hand in hand with, the Domestic Violence Service Center. So we were able to provide them with some assistance. In the campaign before last, we received a lot of emergency grant money. Unfortunately, that didn't happen the immediate past year. We made several key announcements, but three that involved individuals in our community that we considered, we being the United Way, considered to be very helpful to us in various efforts throughout the past year. We awarded the United Way Volunteer of the Year Award to Harry Werkheiser. Harry is the proprietor of Bonanza Steakhouse. We presented the Henry Giuliani Humanitarian Award to Lauren Sacco, and Lauren's family has multiple businesses, including Vito's Lawn Care and Frankie's Pizza. And we created a new award, the Richard M. Salo Jr. Award for service to the community, after our own Rich Salo, who we lost, unfortunately, way too young, 18 months ago. And that award went to Tony Colombo. Now, they've all done things, the three of them, our trio, if you will, Lisa. They've done things together and separately, but most notably, they all kicked in and helped us lead our feeding efforts during COVID, and particularly the Christmas dinner and the Easter dinner. And I would be remiss, very important awards, the United Way Top 10. I won't run down the whole top 10, but once again, our leading contributor across the board was PPL Corporation, and the industrial contributor, the largest employee corporate contributor, was Fabrical Corporation.
Today's news feature is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Remember, in an emergency, our emergency room is the safest place to be.
The Hazleton Area High School boys soccer team won the district's 2-4-4A sub-regional championship over the weekend. We have a lot to get to on the SSPTV standard speaker scoreboard, but we start with Cougar soccer. Gavin Huey had the game winner for the Big HA, and Kyle Johnson got the shutout in goal with 9 saves. The district championship is the first for the boys soccer program. At the state cross country championships, North Schuylkill's Riley Schwalm ended her senior season with her first state medal. She finished 16th in the AA race. Now to some football. Hazleton area beat Wilkes-Barre area in a District 2 6A semifinal game. Matthew Casadas caught 2 touchdown passes from Tyler Wolf and had an interception on defense. Wolf had 3 total TD passes. Hazleton's Matt Bookman rushed for 94 yards. Tri-Valley beat Monoy area in the District 11 single A semifinals. North Schuylkill moves on to the District 11 AAA championship game against Jim Thorpe. Tamaqua area forfeited their game against the Spartans due to a situation within their high school. In a contingency game, Schuylkill Haven beat Shenandoah Valley. Blue Devil quarterback Owen Kozar had 102 passing yards with a touchdown, and Joey Vivacis caught 12 passes for 88 yards.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service. On Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 58 degrees. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 42 degrees. Wednesday is mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 36 degrees. On Veterans Day, mostly cloudy with a high near 53 degrees. On Thursday night, we have a 40% chance of showers after 1 a.m. cloudy with a low near 47 degrees. Friday, a 70% chance of showers. It will be cloudy with a high near 58 degrees. Friday night, showers likely, mainly before 1 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 45 degrees. We have a 60% chance of precipitation. Coming up next, we spend our community feature talking about the upcoming American Cancer Society Greater Hazleton Unit Telethon.
SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Marion D. Hildebrand, age 95, of Mountaintop. The funeral service will be held on Wednesday at 11 a.m. at the Butler Chapel, the Crofton Hughes Funeral Home. Friends may call on Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m. at the funeral home. And Thomas Paul Reagan, age 75, of Hazleton. Mass will be held on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. at St. John the Baptist Byzantine Catholic Church. Friends may call on Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home.
Tonight's obituaries are being brought to you in part by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory, with 2 locations in Rockland and in Drums, 570-384-3312 or 570-788-0977, and go to harmonfuneral.com.